Yo, what up, YouTube? CC here today. We're going over our Week 1 NFL review. I'm going to give a couple comments on each and every game. I didn't see all of the full games, and any games I didn't do, I read up on and tried to watch highlights to give, the best impression I have. And if it's something that I missed or didn't really get to see, I won't really comment on that too hard. As always, please show some support. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I want to know if you guys like this. Me doing some NFL stuff, whether it's predictions or the reviews. So let's get this video to like 25, 30 likes. So I know, like, hey, there's a couple of you guys out here who do like this, right? So let's just go over the games. The most impressive team, obviously from week one, was the first game we saw was the Chiefs over the Patriots. They looked great, but I'm not sure how much it was the Chiefs looking great as the Patriots playing really badly. All the losses that they've had on defense hurt them really badly, and obviously the injury to Edelman really killed them. Um, the Patriots don't look like the Patriots of old. Brady's getting older. Everyone's getting a little older. So while I think the result was a surprise, and especially the margin of victory was a surprise, I think that we may not be seeing like a 14-2 Patriots team this year as we're used to seeing. We may be seeing that 10-11 win sort of Patriots team. Uh, Bills and Jets. I didn't watch. The game doesn't surprise me that the Bills won with now the lead in the AFC East, which is wild. Uh, but the Bills should have probably won by more, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Jags at Texans. To me, the Jaguars shocked me. The way that they dominated Houston. Now we know that Houston didn't really have a quarterback going into the game. They started Tom Savage. Deshaun Watson got in, but that didn't really change anything. Jacksonville paid for defense this year, and it's paid off. It paid off great. Their offense wasn't amazing with Bortles, but Leonard Fournette looked good. So the Jags, maybe the most improved team this year, maybe. Uh, Now the game where they may be the second most improved team was the Steelers and the Browns. The Steelers should be embarrassed that this game was this close. Granted, it's a road game in the division, but Cleveland could have won that game very easily. Pittsburgh did not look great. They only scored 21 against the Browns, and Pittsburgh is supposed to have this high-powered offense, and everyone who's a Pittsburgh fan will tell you how amazing their offense is. That their wide receiver core is better than everyone. Big Ben throwing to everyone. Le'Veon Bell's better than everyone. Well, it didn't look that way this week. So maybe they can rebound. Maybe they can rebound, or maybe the Browns are actually better than we think. But a 3-point loss at home to the Steelers is a good sign for the Browns. Next up, Cardinals and Lions. This went sort of how I thought it would, minus the David Johnson injury. Uh, I didn't think Arizona was as good as anyone really was going to give them credit for. And I still don't think Detroit's really that good, uh, but they had the better quarterback. And anytime you have the better quarterback, I'm going to tend to lean towards you to win. So that's what happened with the Lions and the Cardinals. David Johnson getting hurt absolutely sucks. It sucks for him. It sucks for their team. And then, for us who play fantasy football, it really sucks as well. But, hopefully he can recover and get back to it. Next game was Falcons and Bears. I'm a Falcons fan. I'm going to be biased, but I can't be biased here. I thought the Bears played better. Um, Falcons didn't look good at all. We should have probably lost that game. Probably should have lost that game. Tariq Cohen was the best player on the field in that game, which says a lot considering the reigning MVP was in that game. Julio Jones was in that game. He was probably the fourth or fifth best running back on a depth chart before the game, but he outplayed Jordan Howard, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. He outplayed all of them. So I look forward to seeing what he can do. And maybe the Bears are better than we think. Their D line played well. So kudos to them. They're probably not a totally bottom of the barrel team this year. They may be in that 5 or 6 win category by the end of the year. Next up, Raiders and Titans. Shocked me that the Titans were favored here. I know they're at home, but I don't know what they did to make everyone think that they were going to be amazing this year. The Raiders obviously have only improved over last year. Derek Carr's back healthy. I don't know if people forgot that they were in the playoffs just because Carr didn't play in it and they kind of got stomped out. But the Raiders were on a roll last year. They added Marshawn Lynch, who was much better than Latavius Murray, who played well. So this result doesn't surprise me. 10-point win. I'm more surprised by the Titans only scoring 16. That didn't seem like a lot for them, especially considering they're supposed to have weapons now, right? Interesting. Probably the worst performance of the week came in the Ravens and Bengals. Andy Dalton looked terrible. If he continues this, the Bengals might only win 2 or 3 games. I can't see that happening. Um, there's too much talent on that team otherwise. There's too much talent on that team. They made Joe Flacco look good, which is hard to do. And the Ravens defense looked great, so we'll see if it was, hey, the Ravens defense is back for real, or Andy Dalton was just a trash can for a day. We'll see. Who knows? Eagles at Redskins. Again, this was a close game for a while, and things just sort of changed. That fumble for 6, which may or may not have been a fumble for 6, changed the game. But Carson Wentz looked better than Kirk Cousins in my opinion. The Eagles, very underrated on defense. Fletcher Cox is an amazing player that really doesn't get a lot of credit. So this doesn't totally surprise me that the Eagles won. Again, more surprised by the margin of victory. 13 points on the road in the division is a ton. Next up is the Colts and Rams, and a lot of people would say that the Rams looked amazing. I think this is much more of a case of the Colts are terrible without Andrew Luck. They're horrible. They're a horrible football team without him. Just horrible. Scott Tolzien is not an NFL starter, and it showed. That's why the Rams beat him by 37. This may be a thing for the Colts. The Colts probably are vying for one of the worst teams in the league. They may be a 2-win team, honestly. If Andrew Luck comes back, obviously that changes, but who knows, right? Panthers at 49ers, horribly ugly game. Neither team looked good. Cam Newton still looks hurt. The 49ers look like they don't have any idea what they're doing. Carolina's defense is still going to be okay, but if Cam Newton can't get better, the Panthers aren't going to go very far in the division. And a lot of people were picking them as a sexy pick. Is Cam going to return to his MVP status? Until he's, healthy, I don't think so. Seahawks and Packers, another really good game, I thought. The Seahawks defense is still the truth. They still play amazing. They held Aaron Rodgers scoreless in the first half, which was, super impressive. I didn't think anyone would really be able to do that. But the Packers are the better team. The Seahawks offense is still lost, right? It's lost without that running game from Marshawn Lynch. CJ Procise, Thomas Rawls, Eddie Lacy, those guys aren't striking fear into you. The Seahawks offensive line is still trash. So, but with the way that division is, San Francisco is down. Arizona has lost their best player. The Rams and Seahawks are probably going to vie for the division, honestly. And you might really see a division winner like we used to in the past there with like 9 wins. And that's got to be Seattle just because they have the defense. Next up, Giants and Cowboys. A lot of people didn't see this sort of coming here. Granted, Odell was out, and Giants fans will use that as an excuse. But Odell is not a 16-point swing in a game at all. Maybe the game would have been a lot closer. Cowboys played great. Giants defense played really well, I thought. But the Giants needed this victory. They spent all this money on their defense. They went out and they got Brandon Marshall. They still don't have a running game. They drafted Evan Ingram. And even without Odell, you got to put up more than 3 points against a Cowboys defense, which obviously has improved from last year. It's not a top 10 defense at this point. Maybe as the year goes on, there statistically will show that, but I don't think so. Next up, Saints and Vikings. No surprise here that the Vikings won, that they won easily at home. Minnesota's a hard place to play. Sam Bradford looked great. Dalvin Cook played well. Stephon Diggs played well. Their defense played well. They made Drew Brees look uncomfortable. I don't know what the Saints were doing with Adrian Peterson in the running game. Minnesota's too good of a defense to just let Drew Brees sit back there and pass. So I'm maybe bad game plan. Maybe Sean Payton's past his prime, honestly. And then we got Chargers and Broncos, which ended on a blocked field goal. Uh, this is about exactly how I saw this game going, not with the block at the end, but a real close game between two teams that aren't quite there yet. Denver's obviously got the defense, right? Denver's defense is amazing. But Trevor Siemian hasn't shown me a ton to make me think that he's going to take that team to the playoffs this year at least. Uh, and as long as their defense plays well, they're going to stay in games. So he just has to manage the game. He has to be like Trent Dilfer did for the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl. I think if he can do that, they can be pretty good. But uh, I mean, giving up 21 points to the Chargers, especially all those points late, they didn't look great, but they got the win at home. So kudos to them. So this is my week 1 in review. If you guys want to see me talk more about something or have any ideas for things I should do, just let me know down below. Would love to do that. Otherwise, until next time, I'll see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.